The roar of the crowd hit like a tidal wave, but in that split second, the world narrowed to the slick stage floor beneath my sneakers and the blinding lights that turned everything into a haze. I stumbled, my ankle twisting just enough to send me pitching forward toward the edge, right where 1,000 phones waited to capture my fall. Then a hand, strong, steady, electric, gripped my wrist and yanked me back, not just saving me from disaster, but thrusting me into the heart of the spotlight, where Jordan Hale's eyes locked onto mine with an intensity that made the screams fade to a distant hum. It was supposed to be his night, the sold-out finale of his world tour in the heart of Los Angeles' Staples Center, and I was just Alex Rivera, the invisible backup dancer who'd spent months perfecting moves in the shadows. But as Jordan held me there, his fingers lingering a beat too long, the arena erupted in confusion and cheers, and I realized with a jolt that my anonymity had just shattered. In that moment, under the glare of pyrotechnics and the weight of 50,000 eyes, I wasn't falling anymore. I was falling for him, harder than gravity could ever pull. Jordan released my hand with a grin that flashed across every jumbotron, but his touch burned like a promise. The song kicked back in, echoes in the dark, his biggest hit, all brooding synths and lyrics about hidden desires, and I forced my body to move, syncing with the other dancers in a blur of synchronized chaos. My heart hammered not from the near miss but from the way he'd looked at me, like I was the only one worth seeing. Backstage later, sweat-soaked and buzzing, I collapsed against a equipment crate, replaying it in my head. Jordan Hale, the golden boy of pop who'd clawed his way from Midwest obscurity to Grammy whispers, had chosen me to save. Why? The after-party was a whirlwind in a rooftop lounge overlooking the glittering sprawl of L.A., where influencers posed with champagne flutes and industry suits networked under string lights. I hovered on the edges, nursing a soda, my black tank top still clinging from the show. Backup dancers didn't mingle with the stars. We were the ghosts that made the magic real. But then Jordan appeared, weaving through the crowd like he owned the night. Which, in a way, he did. His hair was damp, his white button-down unbuttoned just enough to hint at the tattoos snaking across his chest. And when he spotted me, that grin returned, full force. "Hey, hero of the hour," he said, sliding onto the stool next to mine, his voice low and warm, cutting through the bass thump of the DJ's set. Up close, he smelled like citrus and stage smoke, and his blue eyes held none of the polished detachment I'd seen in interviews. "You okay?" That was a hell of a save. I laughed, a nervous bark that surprised even me. "Me? You're the one who turned a wipeout into a viral moment. My agent's phone is exploding already." He leaned in, elbows on the bar, and for a second, the party vanished. "Good. You deserve the spotlight. What's your name again? Alex, right? From the choreography crew." "Yeah, Alex Rivera. And you're?" "Well, you know." I cringed inwardly. "Smooth. Alex, real smooth." "Jordan Hale, at your service." He extended a hand, and when I shook it, his grip was firm, deliberate. "Listen, that move out there? It wasn't planned, but it felt right. Like fate or some cheesy lyric." We talked for hours, or what felt like it. The kind of conversation that skips small talk and dives into the raw underbelly. He confessed how the tour had been a grind, faking smiles for fans who saw the persona but not the exhaustion. I shared bits of my own grind. Growing up in a cramped apartment in East LA, scraping by on dance scholarships and odd gigs, always the kid who moved to rhythms no one else heard. By the time the crowd thinned, we'd swapped numbers, and he promised to text about that coffee thing to make up for nearly killing me on stage. The text came at dawn, as I crashed in my shared Echo Park walk-up. "Coffee? Or tacos?" "Your call, Spotlight Stealer." I stared at my phone, pulse racing, and typed back before overthinking it. Tacos it was, at a hole-in-the-wall spot on Sunset where the al pastor sizzled and the salsa burned just right. Jordan showed up in a baseball cap and hoodie, incognito as he could manage, and we sat in a booth scarred by years of late-night confessions, trading stories over dripping foil wrappers. "You're not what I expected," he said midway through his second taco, wiping his mouth with the back of his hand. "Most people in this town chase the light. You dance like you're fighting it." I shrugged, but his words landed deep. "Maybe I am. Dance was my escape, From family stuff, expectations. My dad's a mechanic, mom's a teacher. They wanted stable. I wanted this. I gestured vaguely at the world outside, the palm trees swaying against a smoggy sky. He nodded, his expression turning serious. I get that. Mine kicked me out at 17 when they found out I'm gay. Said it was a phase, but really, it was their problem. Landed in LA with $50 and a demo tape. Now look, sold out arenas, but still feels like I'm performing off stage too. The admission hung between us, heavy but honest. I'd known he was out. His coming out song 2 years back had topped charts and sparked think pieces. But hearing it raw, from him, cracked something open in me. I hadn't dated much. A few flings in college that fizzled under the weight of my insecurities. Yeah, I managed. It's like, you're out, but never fully. Always waiting for the other shoe. We lingered until the lunch rush pushed us out, and as we hugged goodbye, casual, but not, he whispered, "This was good, Alex. Real good." Driving home in my beat-up Civic, windows down to let the ocean breeze chase the heat, I replayed every word, every glance. Was this friendship? Or the start of something that could upend my carefully shadowed life? Weeks blurred into a rhythm of stolen moments. Jordan's tour wrapped, but his schedule didn't slow. Interviews, studio sessions, that endless churn of fame. Still, he'd carve out pockets. A hike in Griffith Park where we'd dodge paparazzi trails and talk about dreams beyond the industry. Late-night drives along the Pacific Coast Highway. Windows fogged from laughter and shared playlists of indie tracks neither of us could chart. My world expanded, colors brighter, but so did the undercurrent of tension. His manager, a sharp-eyed woman named Carla, eyed me at every cameo appearance, like I was a liability in human form. "Keep it professional, Alex," she'd say with a tight smile, as if I were the one calling the shots. Then came the misunderstanding that cracked the foundation. It started with a party at Jordan's Hollywood Hills mansion, a low-key affair for his inner circle, string quartet, and craft cocktails on a terrace overlooking the city lights. I arrived fashionably late, borrowing a button-down from my roommate that actually fit, nerves jangling like loose change. Jordan greeted me at the door with a hug that pressed too close, his breath warm against my ear. "You made it. Come meet the crew." The crew included Lena, his best friend from those early demo days, a queer non-binary artist with a shock of pink hair and a laugh that cut through pretense. They clicked instantly over shared gripes about LA traffic, and for a while, it felt easy, until I overheard the whisper in the kitchen. Carla, cornering Jordan by the island. "He's cute, but come on. Backup dancers don't just befriend stars. What's his angle? Access. A story." Jordan's voice sharpened. "It's not like that. Alex is real. Drop it." But the seed was planted. The next day, my phone lit up with alerts, blurry photos from the party circulating on gossip sites, captions speculating about Jordan Hale's new mystery arm candy. Comments flooded in, supportive from fans, vicious from trolls. Another publicity stunt? Betty's straight and using the gay icon for clout. My stomach nodded. I wasn't out to my family yet, hadn't even told my sister Mia, who still thought my late nights were just dance practice. The exposure felt like a spotlight I hadn't auditioned for, burning away the safety of shadows. I confronted Jordan over text, saw the pics. "This blowing up isn't what I signed up for." His reply was instant. "Call me, please." We met at a quiet cafe in Silver Lake, tucked in a corner booth with matcha lattes steaming between us. His face was drawn, shadows under his eyes from a sleepless night. "I'm sorry," he started. "Carla's paranoid. Last tour, some guy sold stories to tabloids. But that's not you. I know that. Do you?" The words slipped out sharper than intended. "Because from where I'm standing, I'm the nobody getting dragged into your chaos. What if my family sees this? They barely get why I'm chasing dance. This would complicate everything." He reached across the table, hesitating before covering my hand with his. "Then let's fix it. Together. No more hiding in the wings." But fixing it meant layers peeling back, exposing the prejudices we'd both buried. My family dinner that weekend in East LA was a minefield. Mom's worried glances over Pozole, Dad's gruff questions about that singer guy from the news. Mia, ever the protector, pulled me aside in the backyard, string lights twinkling like hesitant stars. "Alex, if he's worth it, own it." But don't let him eclipse you. Her words echoed as I drove back to the city, the freeway a river of taillights. Worth it. Jordan was a supernova, pulling me into orbit, but what if I burned up? The call came as I parked. Jordan, voice cracking. Alex, we need to talk. In person. Now. He was waiting on his terrace when I arrived, the city a carpet of lights below. No preamble. He pulled me into a hug, then held me at arm's length, eyes searching. I pushed too fast. Got caught up in how you make me feel. Seen. Not the star, just Jordan. But if it's too much. It's not. I interrupted, the truth surging up. It's terrifying, but it's real. And yeah, the world's gonna judge. But maybe. We face it. That night, we talked until dawn. About his fear of being loved for the fame, not the flaws. My dread of disappointing the family who'd sacrificed for my dreams. By sunrise, with coffee mugs cold on the railing, something shifted. Not a grand declaration, but a quiet pact. No more half-shadows. The pact held through the summer haze of LA, where heat waves shimmered off asphalt and awards season loomed like a glittering storm. Jordan threw himself into his next album, sessions in an Echo Park studio that smelled of vinyl and takeout Thai. I dropped by after rehearsals, sprawling on the worn leather couch while he layered vocals, his voice raw and vulnerable in the booth. What do you think? He'd ask, emerging with headphones dangling, always seeking my unfiltered take. Honest. That bridge hits like a gut punch. Fans are gonna lose it. I'd mean it every time. Watching him create was mesmerizing. The furrowed brow, the way he'd pace, humming melodies like they were lifelines. In those moments, the world outside faded. No managers, no headlines, just us, building something intangible but solid. Lena became our unofficial third wheel, bridging gaps with her unflinching honesty. Over brunches at a WeHo spot with bottomless mimosas, she'd grill Jordan on track lists and me on family lore. Your sister's got that fire, she'd say after Mia's Instagram shout-outs started including subtle pride flags. Reminds me of you before the industry sanded off your edges, Jay. But edges had a way of sharpening under pressure. The first real conflict brewed when Jordan's label pushed a collab with a rising country star, Travis Kane, a clean-cut heartthrob from Nashville with a voice like honeyed gravel. The track was a duet, all anthemic hooks about lost love, but the buzz was toxic. Forums lit up with speculation that Travis was Jordan's beard, a straight ally cover for his queerness. Carla ate it up, scheduling joint appearances to lean into the chemistry. I saw the strain in Jordan's texts during promo week. These interviews are killing me. Travis is cool, but the questions. We met for a quick escape in Runyon Canyon, huffing up trails as the sun dipped low. It's like they're scripting my life, he vented, kicking a rock. As if I need a straight guy to validate me. I nodded, sweat stinging my eyes. Prejudice dressed as marketing. But you're bigger than that. Own your narrative. He stopped, turning to face me, the canyon scrub brush framing him like a reluctant king. You make it sound easy. Coming from the guy who's still dodging his parents' calls about bringing a nice girl home. The jab landed soft, but stung. I'd come out to Mia months back, her hug fierce and immediate, but mom and dad? That was a chasm. Hey, I said, stepping closer. One step. We're both works in progress. He pulled me in then, forehead to forehead, breaths mingling in the cooling air. No kiss. Not yet. But the almost was electric, a promise humming between us. Yeah, progress. The duet dropped to acclaim, but the undercurrent festered. Travis, oblivious or not, started lingering at after-parties, his arm slung casual over Jordan's shoulders for photos. One night at the Abbey, a WeHo staple pulsing with rainbow lights, I watched from across the room as Travis leaned in, whispering something that made Jordan laugh. Too genuine, too easy. Jealousy coiled in my gut, irrational but insistent. Was I reading too much? Or was the industry's smoke starting to blur lines? Lena clocked it immediately when I vented over coffee the next day. Babe, that's Projection City. Jordan's eyes light up for you, not Mr. Twang. But talk to him. Bottling it leads to explosions. She was right. That evening, I showed up at his studio unannounced, heart in my throat. He was mid-take, voice soaring through the speakers, but he cut it short when he saw me, bounding out with that boyish grin. Alex, perfect timing. Hear this chorus? We listened, side by side, his shoulder brushing mine. When it ended, I blurted, "Travis thing bothering you as much as me?" He sighed, rubbing his neck. "More, maybe. Feels like I'm back in the closet, playing the ally card. And you?" He trailed off, vulnerability cracking his voice. "I hate that it's making you doubt." "Not doubting you." I lied, then corrected. "Doubting us. The world keeps throwing curveballs." He took my hand, thumb tracing circles on my palm, a small anchor. "Then we swing together. Deal." The deal deepened as fall crept in, leaves turning in the Hollywood Hills while wildfires smoked the horizon. Jordan invited me to his family's Thanksgiving, a tentative olive branch after years of radio silence. His parents lived in a modest ranch house outside Nashville, the kind with a wraparound porch and pecan trees heavy with nuts. "No pressure," he said on the flight, his knee pressed against mine in first class. "Just meet them as my friend." For now. Tennessee air hit cool and crisp as we deplaned, a far cry from LA's eternal summer. The drive was quiet, radio humming soft rock, until he broke it. "They've softened. Therapy time. But it's fragile." The house smelled of sage and cornbread when we arrived, his mom enveloping him in a hug that lingered, her eyes flicking to me with cautious warmth. "Jordan's told us about you, Alex. The dancer who keeps him grounded." Dinner was a tapestry of awkward grace. His dad, a retired engineer with calloused hands, asking about my routines. His younger sister, Ellie, a college kid with Jordan's eyes, peppering us with tour stories. Under the table, Jordan's foot nudged mine, a secret Morse code of solidarity. But as pie was served, the undercurrent surfaced. His mom, over coffee, ventured, "We've come a long way, son. Proud of who you are. Just wish you'd found someone who sees the real you, not the stage." Jordan's fork paused, and I felt the room tilt. "Mom," he started, voice steady but edged. She backpedaled, flustered. "I mean, Alex seems lovely. But the business, it's so public." I excused myself to the porch, the night air sharp with wood smoke. Jordan followed minutes later, door creaking shut. "I'm sorry. That was them trying, but missing." "It's okay," I said, leaning on the rail, stars pricking the sky like distant hopes. "It's close, though. My folks would say the same, minus the trying." He stood beside me, close enough that our arms touched. "One day we'll show them. All of them." The flight home was charged, our hands intertwined under the armrest, a quiet defiance. Back in LA, the holidays blurred into New Year's prep, Jordan headlining a massive bash at the Shrine Auditorium. Rehearsals pulled me in deeper. Suddenly, I wasn't just backup but co-choreographer, my ideas shaping the show's pulse. It felt like partnership, on stage and off. But surprises have teeth. On New Year's Eve, as confetti rained and Auld Lang Syne swelled, Jordan pulled me on stage mid-set, not for a save, but a dedication. "This one's for the ones who pull us into the light," he said into the mic, eyes on me as the crowd hooped. My heart soared, but backstage, Carla waited, arms crossed. Romantic, but think of the fallout. Sponsors, fans. Jordan whirled on her. "Enough. Alex isn't fallout. He's family." The word hung, and in the adrenaline crash, he said it to me too. Later, fireworks blooming over the city. "Your family, Alex. More if you'll have it." I kissed him then, soft and sure under the balcony lights. Our first tasting of champagne and certainty. The world didn't end. It just got brighter. Yet dawn brings clarity, and with it, conflict. January brought leaks, an anonymous tip to Variety about Jordan's secret romance, twisting our story into scandal fodder. Is Hale's backup more than a dancer? Sources say yes. My phone buzzed with Mia's texts, supportive, but probing. "You okay, bro? This real?" Worse was the call from my dad, voice gruff over crackling line. "Saw the papers, Mijo. That singer. You too." Silence stretched. Then, softer. "Your mother's worried. Come home. Talk." I hung up, gut churning, and drove to Jordan's in the rain-slicked night. He opened the door, concern etching his face. "Alex, what's wrong?" "Everything." I choked out, collapsing into his arms. "My family, they know. And yours?" The article paints us as some tabloid fling. He held me tight, rain dripping from my hair onto his shirt. Then we correct it. Press release, interview, whatever. But together. The togetherness tested us. Carla brokered a sit-down with a queer-friendly outlet, Out Magazine, where we laid it bare. The hook, the hookups of heart, the hurdles of fame and family. It dropped to a wave of positivity, fans rallying with spotlight love, but not without backlash. Trolls swarmed socials, dredging up Jordan's past phase, doubts from his parents' old church friends. My inbox filled with hate mail, predator, gold digger. Lena rallied reinforcements, hosting a game night at her loft to shake off the noise. Board games, bad pizza, belting karaoke till throats ached. To the queers who shine, she toasted, and in that circle, with Jordan's arm around my waist, I believed it. But prejudices run deep, like roots under concrete. The real fracture came from within, a late-night argument after a grueling rehearsal, exhaustion fraying nerves. Jordan snapped about my hesitation on going public fully. Why hadn't I told my parents outright? You're holding back, Alex. Like I'm some experiment. The word sliced. And you're pushing, like this is your redemption arc. I need time. My dad's old school, Catholic guilt and all. He recoiled, hurt flashing. Time? We've been dancing around this for months. I thought we were past shadows. I stormed out, the door slamming like a final note. Days passed in radio silence, LA's sprawl feeling vast and empty. Mia called, sensing the rift. Fight for it, Alex. But fight fair. Love's not a solo. She was right. I showed up at his gate on a drizzly afternoon, script in hand. Not words, but a playlist, songs we'd shared, from his demos to my hidden favorites. He buzzed me in, eyes wary but softening. Missed this, he said, pulling me inside. We talked, no accusations, just truths. His fear of abandonment, rooted in that teenage eviction, my terror of erasure, the son who'd always been the quiet one. By evening, curled on his couch with takeout cooling untouched, we rebuilt, no more solos. Duet only. Spring bloomed with tentative mints. Jordan's album dropped to critical fire, Hale's Heart, Echoes unveiled, and our track, a co-written ballad about pulling each other from the dark, charted high. Tours beckoned, but this time, I was along, not backup, but equal, choreographing and loving in the light. Family bridges arched slowly. My parents visited LA for a weekend, awkward at first, Dad eyeing Jordan's Grammy shelf like it was alien tech. But over backyard barbacoa, Mom asked about our story, really listened. You look happy, Mijo. That's all we want. Dad grunted approval later, clapping Jordan's shoulder. Take care of him. He's tougher than he looks. Jordan's side healed too, his parents attending a small show in Nashville, standing ovation not just for the music but the man. Ellie became our biggest cheerleader, crashing LA for Pride Month with rainbow gear and inside jokes. Yet drama peaks before resolution. The climax crashed during Pride Week, LA's streets a riot of color and chant. Jordan was Grand Marshal, me by his side on the float, waves crashing like applause. But midway, a protest splintered the edge, counter-demonstrators with signs spewing hate. Repent, Sodom. One hurled a bottle, shattering near our feet. Chaos erupted, security swarming. In the melee, Jordan shielded me, taking a shove that bloodied his lip. Get back, he yelled, but I saw red, lunging to pull him clear, my own arm grazed by flailing signs. Backstage in a medic tent, stitches and ice packs later, fury boiled over. This is what public means, he rasped, dabbing his mouth. Hate in the open. And love fights back? I countered, bandaging his hand. We don't hide. The incident made waves, headlines decrying the violence, fans flooding with support. It galvanized us, turning vulnerability to steel. That night, atop the float's wreckage, Jordan took the impromptu mic. Pride isn't just parade. It's pulling each other through the storms. Alex taught me that. The crowd roared, and in the afterglow, under rainbow arches, we kissed. Deep, unapologetic, cameras be damned. No more misunderstandings. Just us, spotlit, and unyielding. Summer tours swept us across America, a whirlwind of arenas from Chicago's United Center to Miami's steamy Bayside stages. Jordan's set evolved, incorporating my choreography, fluid, defiant moves that mirrored our story, bodies intertwining in abstract tales of pursuit and revelation. Backstage, our rhythm held, Quick changes, shared earbuds during drives, his head on my shoulder as buses hummed through neon nights. Friendships anchored us. Lena joined for legs of the tour, her sketches turning our chaos into art, portraits of us mid-laugh, sold at merch tables to fund queer youth programs. Mia flew out for Chicago, her energy a bomb. She and Jordan bonded over bad horror flicks in hotel rooms, her teasing him about stealing my brother, laced with genuine warmth. But tension simmered beneath the glamour. Carla, ever the pragmatist, warned of burnout. He's peaking, Alex. One wrong move. Her implication hung. I was the variable. It gnawed, especially when Jordan's energy flagged, sleepless from fan mail that veered from adoring to obsessive. One letter slipped into his dressing room. Chilled us. You think you're free? We'll drag you back. And signed, but the threat lingered, shadows in our light. We pushed through, channeling it into the music. In Austin, post-show, we slipped away to a dive bar off 6th Street, where live blues wailed and locals didn't blink at hand-holding. Remember our first tacos? He murmured over whiskey sours, his free hand tracing my knuckles. Like yesterday. I smiled, but a knot twisted. Jay, that letter. You think it's nothing? His jaw tightened. Probably some edgelord. But yeah, it shakes me. Reminds me why I built walls. Then let's reinforce them together. I squeezed his hand, and in that smoky haze, with a fiddler scraping soul into the air, we vowed. No secrets, no solo burdens. The vow fractured in Denver, where altitude and exhaustion conspired. A soundcheck glitch delayed the show, tempers flaring, Jordan snapping at texts, me mediating with clipped words. Backstage, it spilled. You treat me like your fixer. I accused, voice low but venomous. He whirled, eyes flashing. And you act like my keeper. I can handle my own chaos. The green room door slammed behind me, echoing like thunder. I wandered the concourse, pulse thundering, regretting the barbs. Mia texted from back home. Tour life tests the strong. Breathe, talk. Hours later, show wrapped to thunderous cheers. Jordan found me in the loading dock, rain sheeting down on semis. Alex, he called, voice breaking through the downpour. We stood there, soaked, until he closed the gap. I was wrong. The pressure. It twists me. But losing you? That's the real glitch. Forgive me too, I said, pulling him close. Rain mingled with tears, but under it, relief. We're better synced. Reconciliation fueled the tour's fever pitch. In New York, Madison Square Garden sold out twice over, the city's pulse syncing with ours. We hosted a pre-show meetup for LGBTQ+ fans, stories shared in a circle, a teen from Queens coming out via Jordan's music, a vet from Brooklyn finding community. Their courage mirrored ours, a reminder that spotlights illuminate paths, not just faces. Post-Garden High, we escaped to Central Park, autumn leaves crunching underfoot. Jordan stopped by the Bethesda fountain, mist rising from the water. Marry me, he joked, or half-joked, dropping to one knee with a pretzel bag as prop. I laughed, hauling him up. Rings first, superstar. But the whimsy stuck, a seed of forever. Back west, LA welcomed us with awards season frenzy. Jordan snagged a MTV Moon Man for the album, his speech a nod to us, to the one who dances in my shadows and pulls me out. The kiss we shared on stage, brief but bold, trended worldwide, a middle finger to doubters. Prejudices persisted, insidious. My parents' visit to the VMAs was a milestone, Mom beaming in the audience, Dad in a rented tux, clapping loudest. But post-show dinner at Musso and Frank, old habits surfaced. Dad, over martinis, proud of you boys. But Alex, settling down. Family's important. Jordan fielded it gracefully. We are family, sir. Building it our way. Mom chimed in, eyes misty. Just want you safe. The world's still. Unkind. Her words echoed the next crisis. A stalker breach at Jordan's Hills home. Security cams caught a figure in the bushes, the same scrawled note from tour tucked in the gate. Police came, statements taken, but sleep evaded us. Curled in bed, Jordan whispered fears. What if they take you to get to me? Then they learn I'm no damsel. I kissed his temple. We're armored now. The incident spurred change, beefed up security, therapy sessions for both, unpacking the weight of visibility. Lena facilitated a support group tie-in, turning pain to purpose. As winter thawed, a new surprise. Jordan's offered to co-produce my solo project. You've got stories, he insisted over studio coffee. Dance film, your moves, my sound. Let's make magic. Hesitation gripped me, imposter syndrome, the backup's curse. I'm no frontman. You're my frontman. His belief ignited mine. We dove in, late nights blending beats with steps, my vulnerability scripted into visuals, a dancer emerging from darkness, pulled by an unseen force. Filming in abandoned LA warehouses, raw and real, captured our essence. The short premiered at Outfest, audience hushed then erupting, standing O, tears streaking faces. Critics hailed it, a queer odyssey of light and longing. Elation peaked, but drama demands dissent. The stalker escalated, a doxed address, my name and threats. Panic clawed, Jordan grounded, me spiraling. I can't lose you. I confessed in a tear-streaked call to Mia. Fight dirty if you must, she advised. Call the feds. Authorities traced it to a disgruntled ex-fan, arrested swiftly. Relief washed, but scars lingered, trust eroded, nights haunted. In the quiet after, Jordan proposed for real, on our anniversary hike in Runyon. Rings simple silver with engraved notes. No spotlights. Just us. Yes, I breathed, the yes a harmony. Weddings blended cultures. East LA taqueria vows, Nashville bluegrass reception. Families mingled, my dad's toast clinking with Jordan's mom's, prejudices yielding to pride. Years on, we toured tandem, is Star, my choreography firm. Love's a duet, misunderstandings mere ad-libs, conflicts chords in our crescendo. From backup to co-star, I found my light in his. Wait, no, that's resolution too soon. The story arcs further, for depth demands layers. Post-proposal glow faded into production hell for Jordan's biopic, Hollywood's machine chewing authenticity. Casting me as love interest felt exposing. Script drafts sanitized our queer joy into bromance. They're erasing us. I fumed over script pages in his trailer. He paced, script crumpling. Fight or fold. We fought, hiring a queer writer, demanding rewrites. Battles raged in boardrooms. Carla allying unexpectedly. This sells truth. Victory came hard-won. Premiere a triumph. Us on red carpet, hands clasped, film a beacon. Yet one final twist. My health scare. A dance injury flaring to surgery, sidelining me mid-tour. Jordan canceled shows, at my bedside, fame second to us. You're my rhythm, he said, post-op, as I gripped his hand. And you're my beat. Recovery rebuilt us, slower dances, deeper talks. Emerging stronger, we launched a foundation. Spotlight scholars, funding queer artists from shadows. In the end, love's not spotlight's glare but the steady glow between. From that first pull on stage, we wove a tapestry, threads of friendship, frayed by prejudice, mended by understanding. Surprises? Endless. Conflicts? Conquered. And through it all, the hook that started it. A fall into light, caught by hands that never let go. The biopic announcement hit like a rogue wave. Jordan's team hyping it as the definitive Hale story. Auditions buzzed, but when the script landed, mailed to our shared condo in West Hollywood, thick as a brick, I flipped pages with growing dread. Our meet cute. A fateful stage collision glossed to buddy comedy. The kiss? Faded to a meaningful embrace. My character. Inspirational friend, not partner. This isn't us, I said that night. Pages scattered across the kitchen island like fallen leaves. Jordan, fresh from a vocal warm-up, scanned a scene, brow furrowing. It's draft one. They'll fix it. But his tone wavered, the optimist cracking. Draft one sets the tone. They're straight-washing our lives for box office. Anger simmered, rooted deeper, in every queer story Hollywood had diluted, from Brokeback's tragedy to sanitized coming-outs. I'd internalized it young, hiding crushes in high school lockers, fearing the punchline. He sank onto a stool, rubbing temples. I know, but passing on it means no control. We steer, or someone else does. Steering meant war. We met with producers in a Century City high-rise, glass walls mocking our exposure. Carla flanked us, her tablet a shield. More authenticity, she pressed, citing fan petitions already circulating. I spoke up, voice steady despite the knot in my throat. Our love's the spine. Faded, and the story collapses. The head producer, a silver-haired exec with Oscar plaques, leaned back. Audience testing shows. Audience. Jordan cut in, heat rising. This is my life. Our life. Test that. Tensions peaked in rewrites. Nights where we'd dissect scenes on the living room rug. Wine glasses sweating condensation. Jordan's frustration manifested in withdrawn silences. Mine in pacing rants to Lena over phone. It's like they're afraid of us being happy. Channel it, she urged. Write the scene they won't. I did. A spec script edition. Our first real talk, raw with fears of rejection, ending not in fade to black, but defiant hope. Jordan read it aloud, voice breaking on the dialogue, then pulled me close. This is gold. The producers bought in, grudgingly, after a table read where the room shifted. Actors, mostly queer cast, infusing lines with lived truth. But victory tasted bittersweet. The compromise left scars, Jordan second-guessing every public step. Am I selling out? He confessed one dawn, balcony overlooking fog-shrouded hills. You're surviving, I replied, arms around him. We all do, till we don't have to. Survival tested in subtler ways. My solo project gained traction. Outfest buzz leading to a full dance film commission, but imposter whispers grew. Rehearsals with a diverse troupe of queer dancers highlighted my privileges. LA-born, now Jordan's guy. A young performer, Kai, confronted me post-run-through. You get it handed. We grind for scraps. His words echoed my old fears, the backup's invisibility. I hear you, I said, halting the music. Let's reshape this. Your visions, not just mine. Collaborating healed, Kai's street-infused solos blending with my lyrical flows, the film evolving into a mosaic of voices. Premiere night at the Egyptian Theater, Jordan in the front row, tears in his eyes as credits rolled, choreographed by Alex Rivera, in collaboration with. Pride in the work mirrored personal mends. My parents' post-surgery visit lingering in memory. Wait, insert that thread. The injury hit during film shoots. A lift gone wrong, knee buckling on concrete. Pain lanced, but worse was the helplessness. Crutches clacking through our condo, Jordan hovering with ice packs and guilty eyes. Should have spotted the flaw, he muttered, though it was my call. Accidents happen, I grumbled, but inwardly, terror gripped. What if this ends my dance? Identity stripped, what remained? Therapy unpacked it, sessions with a queer counselor in Silver Lake, Jordan attending when invited. Your worth isn't your mobility, she said gently. It's your resilience. Resilience rebuilt slowly. Physical therapy in a sunlit studio, Jordan sinking steps beside me, turning rehab to duet. Mia visited, bringing mom's tamales, her pep talks fierce. You're the one who taught me to stand tall. Now hobble proud. Publicly, we spun it positive, a doc short on injury and recovery, vulnerability viral. Fans shared stories, a chorus of Me Too, that drowned doubt. Jordan's biopic wrapped filming amid the hoopla, our relationship woven truer. On set wrap party, he pulled me aside, script in hand. Our scene, filmed at last. You saved this, he said, kissing me amid clinking glasses. But climaxes crest with undercurrents. The stalker's shadow resurfaced, not the arrested fan, but a copycat, emails escalating. Wedding bells? I'll silence them. Paranoia crept, Jordan installing more cams, me scanning crowds at shows. Culmination crashed at a pre-Oscar gala, opulent chandeliers casting fractured light. We mingled, his hand in mine, when a stranger approached, too familiar, eyes fever bright. Beautiful couple, he slurred, then low, but spotlights burn. Security whisked him, but the venom lingered. Back home, Jordan paced. It's endless. The hate. Then we amplify the love. I drew him down, our breaths sinking. Call the foundation. Event, Queer Resilience Gala. The gala, hastily planned at the Griffith Observatory, drew stars and survivors. Jordan keynote, voice steady. Hate pulls, love pushes back. I followed, Kane as prop, sharing recovery's grit. Attendees, fans, families, shared mics, tapestry of triumphs. In the starlit after, Jordan knelt again, ring glinting. "Marry me, Alex." Not despite the chaos, with it. "Yes," I whispered, pulling him up. The yes echoed, a hook resolving to harmony. Wedding wove worlds, vows in a sun-dappled garden, blending Mexican folk dances with Jordan's acoustic set. Parents teared up, Dad's toast, to light in the shadows. Honeymoon in Big Sur, waves crashing as we danced, slow, scarred, perfect. Years unfurl, our foundation thrives, tours blend careers. From that stage stumble to this steady step, life's a production, dramatic, deep, ours. Honeymoon haze lifted to married life's unscripted rhythm. Our West Hollywood condo now home base. Dog-eared scripts and dance, shoes mingling with Jordan's awards. Morning started with coffee on the balcony, his head on my shoulder as LA stirred below. "Domestic looks good on you," I'd tease, ruffling his hair. But bliss buckles underweight. The biopic's release loomed, trailers dropping with our embrace, scene clipped to ambiguity. Fan forums fractured, some cheering representation, others decrying queerbait. Jordan scrolled obsessively, mood darkening. "They're missing it," he'd mutter, phone glowing like accusation. "Or projecting," I countered, but doubt seeded. My film's distribution deal soured too, studio execs suggesting less intimacy in dance sequences for broader appeal. Kai, my collaborator, vented in a heated Zoom. "They want us palatable." "Screw that." We rallied, pushing back, me lobbying for unedited cuts, Jordan using clout for endorsements. Victories small, my film screened uncut at Sundance, earning raves for raw queer kineticism. But the toll mounted, sleepless nights, arguments flaring over nothing, like Jordan's late studio run turning into a 3 a.m. worry spiral. "Trust me," he snapped one dawn, doors slamming en route to a session. "Trust the shadows?" I shot back, alone with cooling sheets. Mia's call later dissected it. Marriage amplifies mirrors. What's reflecting back? The mirror revealed my own prejudice. Internalized, the fear I was just the husband. Eclipsed. Therapy dug deeper. Sessions evolving to couples. Unpacking fame's asymmetry. "You're equals in shadow work," our counselor noted. Jordan admitted. "I lean on you as crutch, not partner." Revelations sparked recommitment. Weekly unplugged dates, no phones, just us. Picnics in Elysian Park, salsa lessons where he stepped on toes laughing. Reconnection bloomed, physical therapy yielding to partnered improv, bodies relearning sync. External storms gathered. The copycat stalker plea bargained light, community service, no jail, igniting outrage. Jordan's team sued for peace, but media frenzy reignited old trolls. A particularly vicious podcast dissected our lavender marriage, claiming I was the beard for his image rehab. Rage boiled. I drafted a clapback thread, finger-hovering post. Jordan stopped me. "Don't feed them. Starve." Instead, we channeled a podcast of our own, spotlight sessions, interviewing queer icons on navigating hate. First guest, Lena, her stories of art world erasure hitting home. Listeners surged, a counter-narrative wave. Family dynamics evolved too. My parents, warming to Jordan, hosted a post-wedding barbecue in East LA. Abuelita's mole simmering, cousins grilling. Dad pulled me aside by the piñata. "He's good for you. Makes you shine." Mom hugged Jordan tight. "Welcome, Iho. We see you both." His family's thaw completed at a Nashville holiday. Ellie officiating a vow renewal skit, parents toasting with sweet tea. "We were blind," his mom said, eyes wet. "Now we celebrate." Yet prejudice's tendrils reach far. A tour stop in conservative heartland, Oklahoma City, tested metal. Protests lined the venue, signs waving "Sin kills careers." Inside, fans formed a human chain, rainbow flags fluttering defiance. Post-show, a young fan slipped backstage, trembling. "Your story saved me. Came out last week." Jordan teared, hugging him. "You're the brave one." That night, in Hotel Hush, we held each other. This is why. Climax crested unexpectedly. My knee injury recurred during a charity gala performance. Twist mid-lift, pain exploding. Ambulance lights flashed, Jordan white-faced in the ER. Not again. I groaned, monitors beeping. Surgery loomed. But this time, preparation armed us. Pre-op rituals, his playlists calming nerves. Recovery redux, crutches clicking marathons, Jordan choreographing seated solos for my therapy vids, turning limitation to art. The foundation launched an accessibility grant, inspired by it, Dance Without Bounds. Emotional underbelly surfaced in quiet. What if I can't keep up? I confessed, tears hot. Then we slowed dance forever. His certainty anchored. Emergence stronger. My adapted routines debuted at a pride ball. Jordan joining in a chair duet. Vulnerable, virile. Applause thundered, but deeper. Proof of evolution. Surprises sprinkled joy. A pregnancy surrogacy talk with Mia as carrier. Dreams of family expanding. Conflicts resolved not in perfection, but persistence. Through it, the hook endures. That stage pull, a lifetime ago, birthing this. Love's drama, gay-capped, eternally spotlit. As spring rains pattered LA's boulevards, our lives settled into a hard-won cadence. Marriage not endpoint, but evolving score. The biopic premiered to mixed roar. Critics lauding, evolved portrait, detractors nitpicking still too safe. We attended the after-party at Spago, hands linked, Jordan's whisper tickling. Our truth's in the living, not the real. Living meant layers. My dance academy opening in Echo Park, scholarships for queer youth, Kai as co-director. Jordan guest taught, his celebrity downplayed to mentor. One class, a shy teen mirrored young me, wide-eyed, rhythmic. You dance like you mean it, Jordan told him post-session. The kid beamed. In that, redemption. Podcasts flourished, spotlight sessions topping charts. Guests like Elliot Page sharing scars to strength arcs. Our episode, raw on marriage's micro-conflicts, jealousy flares, fame's fatigue, struck chords, comments flooding. This is the rep we need. Family tapestries wove tighter. Mia's surrogacy yes bi-rated joy. Ultrasounds shared with Jordan's clan via Zoom. His mom knitting booties, my dad building a crib with uncharacteristic patience. Grandkid on the way, he marveled over phone. World's changing, Prejudices, though faded, flickered. A tabloid expose dredged Jordan's pre-fame flings, twisting them to promiscuous past. I woke to his rigid form, phone clutched. Old ghosts. Ghosts lie, I said, deleting the article. You're here. We're here. Therapy honed us. Tools for when doubt crept. Pause. Partner. Proceed. A Heartland tour stop in Texas echoed Oklahoma's edge. Protests louder, but local allies stronger. A queer center hosting pre-show safe space. Post-gig, Jordan signed autographs till hands cramped, me wrangling the line. A protester lingered, sign drooping. Jordan approached. Hate's heavy. Want water? Deflection, not defeat. The man's scowl cracked, a nod exchanged. Small wins stack. My knees full reclaim came at a foundation gala. Observatory redux, stars wheeling overhead. I choreographed a group piece. Dancers and wheels, crutches, fluidity defying norms. Jordan narrated, voice husky. Spotlights don't choose. We claim them. Finale, he joined center stage. Our duet closing, bodies weaving, no falls, only flight. Applause cascaded, but pinnacle. Backstage, Mia handed ultrasound print. It's a boy. Tears blurred. Jordan knelt, kissing my knee. Our family. Surrogacy's path wasn't seamless. Appointments, anxieties, but joy anchored. Baby prep blended chaos. Nursery murals by Lena, lullabies Jordan penned. Mia's strength awed. Her updates texts of kicks and cravings. Birthday dawned stormy. Hospital lights steady. Jordan paced. I coached breaths. Roles reversed from my recoveries. Cry pierced air. Our son, Mateo Hale Rivera, tiny fist waving defiance. Holding him, Jordan sobbed. He's perfect. Parenting's drama unfolded gentle. Sleepless feeds. First coups sinking to our playlists. Prejudices peaked. Playgroup stares at the famous dads, but community buffered. Queer parent circles, playdates with rainbow blocks. Years cascade. Mateo's toddler tantrums met with Jordan's songs, my dances. Tours adapt. Nanny tours, FaceTime goodnights. Foundation grows. Scholars like that Echo Park teen debuting works. Misunderstandings? Occasional. Tours spats over schedules, resolved in midnight talks. Conflicts? Life script. Health scares. Industry slights. Met with unity. High school pickup. Jordan in shades incognito, me waving. Mateo runs, backpack bouncing. Dads. Hugs triple, world blurring to us. From backup stumble to this chorus, love, friendship forged in fire, prejudice is parried, surprise is savored. The hook? That wrist grab, pulling not just body but soul. In his spotlight, I found mine. Together, we illuminate endless. Epilogue whisper. Decades on, Mateo's wedding. Us in back, hands clasped, eyes meeting like that first night. Worth the fall, Jordan murmurs. Every step. Fade to light, eternal duet.